I went to a craft store and I got us some foam. Now you'll notice that I bought this foam in 3 different colors, only really needed in black. So I bought this craft foam, and this is what they call the EVA foam. I'm going to take this sticker off and then measure it so that I can make a nice backpack. Now here's the thing. When you are in front of somebody with this, no one has actually measured it, except for maybe the people on set. Unless you actually have access to the actual measurements, and for some reason you have to have those measurements spot on, don't worry about it.
Forget about it.
Okay, so these sheets, these thicker sheets, these are about 5 millimeter. They're 12 inches long, 9 inches wide. Okay, so what I did was I measured it, 12, break that in half, and that's 6 inches. So I started marking that. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I started marking it, and I actually drew out in pencil, because pencil, of course, you can erase, what looks very similar to Natasha's backpack. Mm-hmm. So you want to do something like that, so you know where you're cutting. You'll also be able to, because you've done this, you'll also be able to go back and erase and say, well, I don't want it like that. And you might want to customize some of the stuff. But anyway.
That's why it's good to do it in pencil, right?
Do it in pencil.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that you're going to actually glue 2 of these pieces together. I bought 4 just in case. Mm-hmm. They're only $1. So here's $4 in my hands right here.
You got those from a craft store, is it?
A craft store.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go and cut these out, and I'll be right back. Always go out from a cut. You don't want to come in here because you'll cut into your piece.
You can overcut it.
So cut out. And don't be afraid to use multiple cuts. Now right in here, now I know that there's going to actually be a little piece hanging in there. See that? So I'll just go back in, cut out, there we go.
Cleaned it up.
Cleaned it up. You're always going to want to use either a metal ruler, or you can use the wood rulers that have a little metal edge. Those are all fine. Now you see I have both outer parts here, so it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and cut it. The reason you want to use a metal ruler or something with the wood one with metal edge is so that you don't go in and cut the wood or cut plastic, because they have plastic ones too. You want your blade to ride on the metal surface, and you want to keep it straight up and down. So now again, I'm going to cut it. Now, ideally, if you like, sometimes it's a little bit harder for some people, so you don't want to do this. Other times, it's perfectly fine. And that's, you actually cut your 2 pieces together.
So you didn't cut that final edge yet, though, on the original piece, right?
No, and I'll show you a really cool trick for that.
Okay.
You're going to love it. You're going to need a hair dryer, but you're going to love it. Again, you want to make sure all your edges are together. Now, I'll do this and I'll be okay. But the thing is, if you can, just do it twice. Again, as you can see, I'm going to cut out to the outer edge. And I don't mind making multiple passes. But now, because I'm going at a deeper spot, I'm going to actually push this blade out a little bit more so that it's deeper than my material. But I keep everything straight and I keep everything riding on that metal ruler. Or some people even call it a straight edge. A lot of people call it a straight edge because, well, it's supposed to be straight. So again, just making sure that I've cut through everything. Always, always check to make sure.
So you're still using that straight edge even for, you already cut the first layer and you're just getting the second layer.
Yes.
Yeah, keep it clean and lined up.
Keep it clean, keep it lined up, and keeping it the same size. You'll see later why it has to be the same size. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing, one needs to be smaller than the other, or in the same sentence, one needs to be bigger than the other.
Oh, interesting.
In this case, they pretty much need to be the same, and you'll see why. Again, do not mind cutting multiple times. If you get to a problem area or you think it's going to be a problem, remember, always go out. I'd like to cut this right now, but I'm just going to wait. Cut this.
That's a little tricky area right there.
Yeah.
But,
so I'm just going to do it like that.
Then you can kind of just cut through because you don't need that excess piece over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I have two pieces, exactly the same. Now I'm going to put that over to the side here. These pieces, something like this, a lot of times you can throw it away. But these pieces that have a little bit more girth on them, if you have room to keep them, get you a little box, put them in there. So what I'm just going to do is just put these over to the side for right now.
You always can find uses for those, kind of like making detail kind of things.
Always detail stuff.
Yeah.
Always. So if you do have a little craft box where you have detail or scrap items, always just throw them in there. You can always throw them away. So hold on to them, especially if this is not going to be the one and only project that you have. Now the other thing that we'll do on another video, she has a belt that has a lot of pieces to it. That can be those. Again, saving and being economical.
Repurposing.
Repurposing. I love that word.
There you go. That's all right.
Okay. Just in case you make a little bit of a mistake, or you see little boogers, that's what we call them, little boogers on the ends here. Stuff like this. Even something radical like that. Don't worry about it. Because after we put everything together, we can either sand those edges, makes it look good, sand those edges, or when we apply the heat gun or the hair dryer, that stuff will go away.
Oh.
It's kind of like the coronavirus.
All right. Yeah, it'll go away with heat.
Yeah.
It's like 108 right now.
Yeah. But don't worry about it. It'll go away.
All right.